Welcome to another week of Ether Raids. We're starting off with Cariana. Man, it was really hard building teams this week because a lot of my teams, I think I said this the previous light season, a lot of the teams were just not equipped to be altered because of just how they're constructed. It was really tough trying to find space to put Uller in, of all people, but I ended up not doing that. I think I went with Plumeria on the majority of the teams, and then I think there's at least one team, the Edelgard team, that I just could not figure out who to swap out on that team, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use it this week, unfortunately. Not that having an extra dancer isn't a bad thing, but it's just that team, the unit selection, Yunaka included, it's just mandatory for them to be together. I guess maybe I could swap out Yunaka for the dancer because it's really a team that focuses on getting Edelgard around the map, so if Plumeria can get that done, then that's great for me. But it wasn't easy, man. It was really tough trying to make teams this week, and I just couldn't figure it all out. Also, defense. I really tried to change things on defense this week. We got Dimitri here, who's just completely fallen off. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, Dimitri here, who is completely fallen off, and this is like I almost missed the first day, so I'm recording pretty late, but. Yeah, I was trying to get a defense, figure it out. I just did not know what to do because I feel like there's the pool of units to select from that are good is even smaller than it was before. And this is something that you probably heard Levin complaining about back when he was making his Ether Raid content, that there's 8 units in the game that you can actually use. And I didn't agree with him then. But I definitely do agree with him now, even though he's not making content anymore. There is just not that many great units that you can put on defense, and I primarily want to blame Rhea for that, because she's so versatile. And then when you scale it back to just her existing and giving out Miracle, it means that you need Fatal Smoke. And Ather does that in Anima Season, but there's no Dark Season equivalent to that. So barring the Fatal Smoke, you're going to need to hit harder and more often. And there just aren't enough units that hit Brave to allow you to fill that gap. Alternatives, Colorless Feud, which isn't the greatest, to be honest. Primarily because most units don't hit hard enough for it to matter. And then I guess you could say Marissa, but my Marissa isn't really invested to where I could get her to work on defense. So that's primarily why I use her on offense. For defense, you probably need Haste Slice, some more merges, some defensive bulk is essentially what I'm getting at, and my Marissa doesn't have that. And then one of the units I was really looking at, which is why I was saying I probably might invest into her a bit more, is Summer Nertheus. Because of the reflective damage, she hits relatively hard. I think probably would end up having to give her Fatal Smoke. The biggest problem with her is getting her to be transformed, so it means that you'd have to drop her A skill, which I like to run Excel, but I mean, I think you'd probably have to go Fortune, attack speed Fortune, just so that she can transform, since her beast slot is locked. So Fortune would have to be the go-to for Summer Nertheus if you wanted to fit her on a defense, unless you're running all Beast teams. I don't like the Beast Seal because she's a fast unit, which means that she needs to win speed checks to double, unless you're gonna what's the word? Substitute that role of being a speedy nuke to another unit on your defense if you have the team slots available to actually make it work. But yeah, I'm really looking at investing a bit into Summer Nertheus, unless we get something crazy on the banner at the end of this month, emblem, a couple of days from now actually. Or by the time that you're seeing this, the banner probably would have already been out, and the trailer would have probably already dropped already. I think it's typically around the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, and today's the 25th, 26th. So we're getting pretty close, actually. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of up in the air in terms of like what I'm gonna do for dark defense moving forward, because I really tried to get Edelgard out of there. I really tried to get Edelgard off the defense, but she just works, man. She does exactly what I need her to do, which is kill multiple enemies. And no one else really does that. So I don't know, man. Let's continue talking. I'm gonna play one more. GG's. Okay, here's our second opponent for today. Tough Breaks already got a defense loss. So after spending hours configuring a defense, I ended up not setting the defense to be the one that was active. So the old defense got hit. I didn't want to put that defense out, and then I built a defense, but I failed to actually set it to active. So it didn't even. I just essentially wasted my time. So I took a minus 38 on the first day, unfortunately. Looking at what happened, it was actually genius play. So I don't even know if the new defense would have even done anything, because what the opponent did was that they ice terrain me. They fjormed me with they used my favorite unit against me, which is basically to set up the ice terrain on the map. Yeah, the AI is just really stupid. The defensive AI is so dumb, man. Like, understood. Like there was you'll see it. I'll show the defense replays at the end of the week, next couple of days. But there was if they had broken a specific block, I would have been able to go in and get some KOs, but they went and did the dumbest block break imaginable. And I was just like, my God, you're just actively working against me, aren't you? I'm never using this defense again. And I just want to blame Claude. Claude has been just atrocious since his introduction onto my defense. He hasn't done anything. Also a little bit of shade to Dagger, but then also Dagger has a specific role in terms of providing Pathfinder, so I can't really blame her too much. And then also I've been looking at Loki's weapon lately, and man, that Canto 1 on defense isn't playing too great with some of my builds, so I've swapped it out for Incurable to get the Fatal Smoke, which I've been mentioning is just a pain to get on to a unit, because like I was saying with Dark Season, there just isn't anyone like Ather that gives out the Fatal Smoke debuff, so or the Null Miracle, so you're essentially gonna have to rely on running Fallen Julia, or there's one other unit I believe that does it that also is just not good. Not great. I was really hoping Fallen Julia would have gotten a better refine. Man, she's terrible. But yeah, and I really wanted to use Gris. Man, I really wanted to use Gris. Gris is so good. Like, he actually can solo Neathhogger and Rhea if you set it up right. But that 5-space warping is just such a pain to build around. It gives me like flashbacks of trying to figure out who to put with Emblem Celica on defense. It's such a pain to try to figure out what to do in terms of building a defense around those two units. And the problem is because Celica didn't kill anything. And then the problem with Gris is that
I'll pay them a visit.
It's so hard to fit him into a team around, like, the positioning is really difficult, and it's probably down to the way that my defense is currently set up with the terrain that I've selected. I really want to use this particular map, so I'm kind of what do I want to say here? Restricting myself to a certain degree in terms of the defensive build. Erica is just soloing everything here. I'm just waiting to see what Embla does. I'm just gonna move. Okay, she didn't do anything. It's fine. Okay, so yeah, Erica. This is the Erica show pretty much. But yeah, it really boils down to me being a little bit stubborn in terms of not wanting to change the terrain. But I think I'm gonna try to get one of these defense replays. Gris is definitely going to play a part in one of these defensive replays, because he is very good for a Grail unit. He's really good. He hits hard if you build him right and you support him with the right team members. So I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe for a Chaos season, which I was right about. Just got the days or the weeks wrong. But we are getting double light season, which is kind of what I anticipated. Interestingly enough, Chaos season has gotten has become like a type of a trend where whenever they release something super broken, it's usually in the week that there's going to be Chaos season. So it's kind of looking like we're going to be getting a broken emblem, hero, legendary, mythic, whatever it's going to be in the on the banner that's upcoming, or you've already seen. It's probably broken. I don't know, but as of recording, it's not dropped yet. I think the trailer is going to be tonight, if I'm not mistaken. But that aside, I really want to get some Gris content in there. I think he's fantastic for defense, maybe offense. I think he's fantastic for offense. If you can get him to work, if you can build a team around him, I think you can actually get the only thing that you would need to get Gris to be consistent is I'd probably recommend Flash. And somewhere I don't want to run past on him because he loses a lot of true damage. You really want to give him Assassin Strike, Occultist Strike to get that extra damage output from him because of the Brave hits. He is able to outspeed most far saves, so he's able to take out Neathogger. Not consistently, but he can do it, especially if there's Wind Sweep, or not Wind Sweep, Flash inflicted on the save so that they can't counterattack, so that he doesn't die. But yeah, he can do it. For a Grail unit, that is impressive. For a Grail unit, that isn't plus 10 yet. You can't plus 10 him, so that's very impressive for Gris to be able to do that.
What now?
So yeah, I really like him. I should specify New Year's Neathogger. You can't do anything to Mythic Neathogger because of the color matchup. He also fails against Hector again because weapon triangle color. But blue far saves, Rhea, anything that's res related, he typically does particularly well against them, which is good, really good again for a Grail unit. I was very impressed with the performance of Gris. But yeah, that aside, what was I saying before? I was saying that it's really hard to build a defense, and I ended up putting Edelgard back in because she just does everything. She does everything, man. She literally does everything. And I was just trying to find a partner for her, and I ended up going with New Year's Ather, who I'm trying to figure out what her best build is. I ended up giving her Occultist Strike. Not quite sure about it. Let's see how it performs on the replays. I don't know. You guys will see. And then I don't know. I've given her Ruptured Sky. I don't think that's great. I think she really wants Frost Moon because that's res based. But I only have the one Athos, and I have no intentions of fathering him anytime soon. So hopefully we get another unit with Frost Moon or Athos reruns at some point, which I probably still won't get because I don't have the greatest of lucks when it comes to getting rerun mythics. It typically doesn't work out for me.
What now?
But yeah, Edelgard yet again. Astra Anima Dark Season. She's literally on all 4 seasons, on all 3 seasons. She's not. I don't have her on light, but every other season she's there, and that's just a testament to how good she is. I was trying to get Ather in Ether, but I just couldn't figure out how her weapon really interacted, and it also just didn't play well. With some of the things that I was teching into, like Rhea, she just did not kill Rhea. Granted, she shows by the seashore. Granted, she was able to survive Rhea. The problem is she just didn't do any damage. I feel like that was a missed opportunity to give her reflective damage, but I don't know, maybe she would have been too overpowered if they did that. Maybe. But yeah, let's play another one, man. GG's. Okay, so I let the reset hit, and we got Shinaka here, and yeah, we're just gonna go at this one with Shinaka. This team originally had Bridget on it, who I really had to struggle It was so hard to drop Bridget, man. She is so good, especially on this team. She's really, really good. So it was a real struggle to drop her, but I had to either Uller or Plumeria, and I had to go with Plumeria because Uller does nothing. I think maybe like Uller is at the point where you can probably swap out her weapon completely for a different bow because her potent stuff is in her B skill. So her weapon isn't absolutely terrible. Like honestly, if I were able to like get a Binding Whirls form of Uller, I would probably pick it up just to update her kit. I feel like that's the biggest drawback I'm facing right now with Uller, but I think she could probably benefit from an arcane bow or something when that comes out, because her base weapon just isn't doing quite enough. Her B skill is really the thing that's doing the majority of the heavy lifting, I want to say. But yeah, I didn't see how Uller fit the Dancer versus a nuke that doesn't kill anything, because everyone is running Hardy Bearing. The choice is obvious. I mean, yeah. And then who do you take out? Can't drop Yunaka because she quads and her range is just incredible, so that's not an option. And then Golveg is really the one that's clearing the map because of all the extra action, so can't drop her either. And then I also can't drop Lucina because of action economy. She just does too much. And then I have to bring another mythic, so Rune has to be here. And then Peony also has to be here, so not a lot of options. So here we go with this team. It's not the worst thing in the world. I think that this is my hardest hitting team this week, just because of all of the extra true damage that Plumeria and Lucina can afford your team, or the team. But I'm not, I kind of would rather to have Bridget here, if I'm being totally honest. But I mean, it'll work. We'll see how the week performs. And yeah, let's see what happens. Back to defense for a bit. Yet again, I tried several different units to partner with Edelgard. I tried Ather, didn't work. I was wondering if I should have tried Brash Assault on her, but then she kind of needs the Kanto. Well, not necessarily. Maybe her B skill is, like, if I were to give her like Brash Assault, but then that's also pretty rare fodder and expensive fodder that I currently don't think I have. So, but I think maybe that could help her out in terms of taking out Rhea, or maybe just potent. I feel like, nah. I feel like even though she was able to get that extra hit in, it's just not enough damage to do anything to Rhea, so there's no point. Yeah, Nerthus is really like the Rhea counter. Like, Nerthus does, if you can run her with Pavis, or if you have one of the beast specials like Fierce Beast, Nimble Beast, something of that nature, she can get rid of Rhea pretty consistently. It's just I didn't invest. I foddered all of my copies, and also I kind of need a attack speed fortune. I think it's on Hearthfelger, if I'm not mistaken, in the codes, but also I kind of want to merge that copy of Hearthfelger, so not great. I don't know, man. I really hope we get something that can help me out with Rhea, because it's just like kind of hard to it's not that it's hard, it's just like it's just the same units over and over again, and I'm not particularly enjoying that. It's not like, if you're building it, if you're, for me, I like to, put different units into the defensive configuration just to see how they'll perform and try to get some life out of them. And I just haven't really been able to do that, which is why I was praising the extra slot mechanic, because it gives me a room to express a little bit more creativity there. But you don't really have that on Dark Season, so you're kind of locked into those specific 8 units in the game that are good. Solution, I could just put Yunaka on defense, but then I feel like that's cheating. I feel like, Stepbro has I think I'll show it off. I haven't done one of those in a while. Maybe I'll just do one since this is a longer one. I'll probably, I don't know, depending on the time, I'll probably do one of those just to show off some of the things that I'm seeing on my friends list. There's some really strong defenses going around on the friends list, and yeah, Four Mortis is still that guy, man. Winter Four Mortis, even without Shield Fighter, he is still kicking my butt. It's just how you partner him up. Yeah, he's still really, really good. Brave Alm didn't really change. Attuned Alm didn't really change anything where that is concerned. Yeah, so yeah, I was saying I tried to bring back Winter Yunaka because she has Fatal Smoke. So I, try to get her to attack Rhea, and then Fatal Smoke. She's like my only copy that I think that won't die. And then the other alternative was to run Ganungaga because she's my fodder factory, but then also she doesn't really do anything. I don't really want to do that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're all right.
That particular problem is eluding me currently. So again, let's see what happens with the banner. Aside from that, I don't know. Let's see how the rest of the week pans out. I'm hoping this new defensive setup goes well. I'm kind of sad that I'm dropping Dagger just because she's just not doing that great in terms of damage output. Not quite sure what to do with Aided Dagger in that regards. Probably merges would fix that, but then also I feel like her B skill is really the problem, but can't really change it. I feel like they should have given her the same that, something about the debuffs, that was really what she needed, but I think they went something similar to not, which I'm not like really happy about.
Don't be seen.
But yeah, I'm pretty much done with this one. Just gonna back up here and then take out Trevant. Is that his name? I think so. And then call it a day. Man, I'm tired.
I will try.
But yeah, on some quick anime news or update, whatever. Solo Leveling deserves all of the love and none of the hate. It is absolutely fantastic. Although I don't know when the romance is going to kick in. That's really what I'm waiting on.